I'm Shiloh from What the Crust Wednesday, and you're watching The Cartel Show. Let's go, dude.
Hey, my beautiful hugger or kisser. How are you doing? Guess what? Chicken butt. But you know what also rhymes with chicken butt? She's a slut. Because today, we're going to be reacting to crazy ex stories and reading some of the most horrific stories you will ever see. So without further ado, let's get started. And before we get started, just know that these messages predate almost 12 years ago. So keep that in mind. So old that the user has been deleted actually. So it says, first night in a new city and I call my mother to tell her I've arrived safely. She tells me that the girl I dated was 16 to 17, I was 23, and hadn't heard a peep in 5 years. Called out of the blue looking for me and left her number. Lonely and bored, I rang her up and had a strange catch-up session. She told me she was engaged to a woman and that her life after we broke up was a series of unfortunate events. We hung up on a pleasant terms with no plans to keep in touch. 3 days later, I'm exiting my building, and who is standing there in the rain waiting? Yep, it's her. She had flown 2,500 miles in the middle of the night because she thought we were destined to be together. Told me how she was so torn up about us not being together that she had pulled out all of her pubic hair. What the fuck? She also brought me her fiance, who was as crazy as she was and was urging my ex to have a baby with me. What type of cuckoldry is that? What the crust? I calmly tried to tell her that this was insane and that I had no interest in any of this. When out of nowhere, all goes black. I wake up to chaos as my doorman is holding the fiance down waiting for police. Oh my gosh. Turns out she had hit me on the back of the head with a full-blown champagne bottle. What is this? It's a terrible movie. Oh my gosh. They had brought to celebrate with. Arrest and restraint orders followed. TLDR. I love to stick it in crazy. Wait, what? What's that last part? Okay. Dude, that is straight out of like a movie, right? Like that's how like movies play out. Why would the ex be even, who goes along with that? Could you imagine your girlfriend, your boyfriend, they approach you and say, hey, I think I'm in love with my ex. And I think that we should have a baby together. Okay. Do you want to fly across the world to go hit them over the head with the champagne bottle? Oh yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Like, okay, I guess that's normal. Like that is I can't even begin. I'm sort of picturing almost like a movie scene of like they're out in the rain, you know, the cops show up, you know, and she creeps behind him. Yeah, she like the ex created Divergent. She creeps behind him, and she just full on. Yo, they could have at least, you know, Bill Cosby'd him. Why not go for a Bill Cosby? Bill Cosby makes more sense. Come on, insane. Okay, let's look at the next one. So it says, when I broke up with my significant other, she decided that she was pregnant. She went as far to Photoshop ultrasound results and pregnancy tests to tell my mother she was going to be a grandmother. Oh my gosh, she was trying to trap this man. She even had a name picked out for the baby. She had everyone out of work, boarders, convinced I was a heartless bastard who didn't care about his unborn son. I finally found the original copy. So he reverse engineered it. I guarantee he reverse. Wait, it says, I finally found the original copy. If the last ultrasound she had altered on a Google image search, I sent it to her and guess what? Never heard from her again. Not once. Dude, that's so good. Like I can just imagine the look on her face after she got caught red-handed. That's 4K. 4K. He probably went to like either like a, what is that one site, tiny URL, or he probably just like reverse engineered it and it showed an image of like the original ultrasound, which is just insane. Why would someone do that? Like, oh man, just move on. I know it sucks. Like, Stan having to rebuild that whole foundation again, it sucks, but just move on. You'll be fine. But, you know, we gotta learn, I guess. Regardless though, let's move on to the next one. So it says, I started dating a girl that I didn't know was already pregnant, but she knew. She didn't want to be with the guy that got her pregnant, so she waited exactly 14 days for what was back then how long it takes for a home pregnancy test to be accurate. Well, guess what? She was pregnant. Go figure, right? Everyone in the world thought it was mine. I was reluctant because at 1 month, she looked 3 months. It went on and on like this. At 5 months, she was huge. Finally, the baby came 2 months early. Go figure. The kid had a full head of hair, lifted his head, opened his eyes, looking around the room. Not at all possible for a 2-month premature baby. The baby was a grown-ass man. In comes the nurse with the birth certificate to sign. And when they handed it to me, I said, I want a blood test. And the girl's mom said, you fucking piece of shit. For the next month, everyone thought I was abandoning the kid. After the blood test, everyone shut the fuck up. No, that's good though. That's good, because they will try to trap you, especially if you're like, if you're, you know, you got value. Because I think that's what some of these stories may actually end up being. It's like, that's what happens when like they know that they can't find someone better than you. So they try to trap you into the midst of like their life or their psychotic episode, because this is just psychotic. I mean, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? What's that? Oh, look at that. Dude. Here's a string just like started floating out of nowhere. Anyways, that's what a lot of people do. Now I know like it's totally different, especially with like celebrities, bro. With celebrities it gets crazy, right? Because obviously they're successful in some way, and so like they have to now like accommodate for who they have to like be with because of all like the, you know, the semantics that people can go through to try to trap them in their success. It sucks. It's weird, but it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. That is good that you did that. That was a smart move. That was a smart move, because some people will try to do that. But regardless, let's look at the next story. So it says, I was dating a young lady who lived in the Midlands, and she'd come down to London at the weekends. Oh, this may be a Brit here. And we had some fun. Nothing too serious, but it made my weekends enjoyable. Out of the blue, I was asked to move from London to New York by work. And so I told my then casual partner that I had to take breaks, that I had to break things off because I was leaving the country. She accepted it and stopped coming down at the weekends. Anyway, fast forward a few months and I moved to New York, and my move to New York gets canned due to budget cuts. I still have my ex on Facebook, and I start to notice some odd photos popping up. It turned out she had quit her job and moved to New York when she thought I was going to move. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I was now living there for 6 months. She reached out to tell me a few days later. Oh my. And I had to explain I wasn't there. She was kind of pissed. Bro, dude. That TLDR is insane. Dude. And you know what, it kind of sucks because I bet she was like she was trying to be maybe like romantic in a way, and like, oh, like it'd be like random, like if she just finds him there and then like out of nowhere she's like, oh, I moved here as well, or like, I don't know. But you at least like, where's the communication? That's the problem with a lot of relationships. Where's the communication, bro? Like I feel like a lot of relationships end that way, or like just in problems in general. Like I feel like you should at least tell them like, hey, I can move with you, all right? Because the surprise is only going to be a one moment thing if that's what she is going for. It's only going to be one moment, right? I don't think it's worth literally moving all the way. By the way, and this is 12 years ago, this is when moving was easy, right? It didn't cost that much. In 2025, this is at the end of time. Okay, this doesn't exist. This isn't even the realm this isn't even in the realm of possibility anymore. Okay, it just doesn't make sense. Oh man, this is so good. Dude, that's insane though. Ah, that sucks. Okay, move on to the next. So it says, well, my ex was somewhat of a liar, major alcoholic and abusive. The time it took for her to switch from, oh, we're drinking, having fun, to, well, now I'd like to see how hard I can punch you in the face, was minimal. Dude, I've seen, there's this video of this girl named Miss Trigger where she's like punching this guy in the face and he's like bleeding all over his face. So weird, so strange. And I do notice that like there are some people who have that kink of like getting harmed. I don't know how this is the case, but here when they started it off, I thought they were talking about a guy, major alcoholic and abusive. All he's missing is a wife beater. I mean, this chick is literally like a stay-at-home dad, or what you want to say, a nuclear family, like degenerate, like working class father, I guess. But let's continue. I broke up with her 3 times, and after getting back with her after those 3 times, she was sweet, considerate, and awesome. Then a couple months in, she'd resort to her old tactics again. The worst thing though, she made me think it was my fault. Projection. I hate that. When you or if you open up, they use those tactics against you. I'm telling you, once a cheater, always a cheater. Once a thing, always a thing. This is why you have to go with the cure. You have to use your intuition to understand who is this person, who, because a lot of people, they won't change, because a lot of people are the result of their childhood. Your childhood is who you are. That's who you like. That's where you fundamentally got all your like weird, like your brain's a computer. And so everyone's just sort of like this interpretation of a computer, and like they kind of get programmed as they go along, right? And so like if somebody's some way, don't try to change. Like okay, you can change a little bit, and some people are willing to change for the partner, but most of the time, who you are is who you are. And that's why everybody's different, right? Everybody's different. Everyone got their own little thing going on, you know? But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. And I hate that he's saying like that she basically said that it was his fault, because a lot of people do that. They blame the person instead of taking the accountability for themselves. It just is, it's a copium tactic, right? That shows blatant like immaturity and being naive, right? What finally ended it was this previous New Year's we went to at a bar drinking. When we got into a slight argument, she starts beating me up. Okay, it's odd. Our friends were there, witnessed the entire thing. My buddy and I were talking the next day. He asked why it happened. I said, I don't know, but I probably deserved it. Realized how fucked up me saying that was, and noped the fuck out of there. Happier now than ever. Also, I never laid a hand on her, neither to harm her or stop her. Not all redheads are crazy. Well, you know, that's good. That's good that he got out of there, because there are a lot of crazy stories where exes are just horrible. I mean, I think that I've had some stories. I've had people tell me stories of like bad experiences they've had. Some people are just horrible when it comes to love. And that's the thing about love. It makes you crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Love, people do crazy things for love. And a lot of times blind love is the best love, because you gotta kind of ignore all logic and just hope for the best, right? Regardless though, that's kind of all, right? I just kind of want to go over these. I may as well make this a series, right? Just reading stories. You guys like the last one so much, so we may as well continue on. If you like this stuff though, leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Okay, leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, so you don't ever miss a crazy wicked ex story. Okay, and to all my beautiful huggers and kisses out there, I will see you when you're older. Peace.